Evening, dearlings.
Bon lecture.
On lecture. Look who it is. We've got Diana back with us.
Yeah, and Buck's back.
Like every single one of our streams, we start off with technical difficulties.
Much worse technical difficulties this time than previously, though.
Yeah. But we're sorted now, so we're just waiting for the inevitable drop in quality that will come. It will come.
Why
now,
you gotta jinx it?
Well, it is what it is. I haven't actually played this game since we last collaborated.
I believe that is true for me as well.
Ah. Okay, we're both HR5 and both gotta make our way up then.
Yep.
So what are we in the mood for? We've got Royal Udroth, Baroth, 2 Volvidons, Bishaten, Pukey, Basarios, and Rathian.
Goddamn ADHD. I've already forgotten what the first option was, but I know that it was something that sounded appealing.
Royal Udroth.
Yes, yes.
Okay, we'll do a Royal Udroth then. Time to check me notes.
It's weak to fire.
Cool. Gunhammer is coming out. Mad because gun.
Jealous of fun. That can't really rhyme that one.
No. It's all good though. What? Yeah, Gunhammer is a hammer that looked like gun. It's like the gun hammer in Bloodborne, except exactly the same.
Why did that get me?
I don't know.
I guess subversion of expectations. Hello, Himiko.
Hello, Himiko.
Himiko has joined the library.
Oh, thank you for joining. I appreciate the nice sentiments.
Hooray.
I've only been up for an hour and I'm not entirely awake yet.
Yeah, I forgot to warn Diana that the clocks in the UK went back last week.
I mean, I also had kind of a long and stressful night last night, but that's neither here nor there.
No. Just pretend it's my fault.
Thanks for the hydrate and posture check redeems.
Oh, that reminds me. I made a little pot of tea.
Much better. This gun has fire ammo, but it's only excuse me. It's only rarity 2. Alright, whatever, I can just make dual blades with fire, right? Excuse me.
Probably.
Right.
Acnosom dual blades? You could also go for raw damage.
I could, or I can just rely on explosions like with my current weapon.
Explosion.
God, the movie for that was really uncomfortable.
I haven't seen it. It's one of those. It's one of those shows where like I watched a couple of episodes and I'm like, yeah, this is fine. I just didn't get why people were so hyped about it. I was like, it just seems like every other isekai to me.
It's fun and also usually subversive of a lot of isekai tropes. Like, he brings a goddess along, but she's completely useless. When in any other isekai, that would be cripplingly overpowered.
Let's do that here.
And,
So, I've been kind of obsessed with kaiju films lately.
How did I not know that? Oh, wait, I kind of did, because you got that big deal of Godzilla DVDs.
I got that Blu-rays, thank you very much. Yeah, the
Blu-rays,
Godzilla...
nice.
Yeah, the Showa-era Criterion collection.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's such a lovely... I'll send you some of the art later. It's like a really beautifully produced book.
I saw the inside of the book, the one you shared in that one server we're in.
Yeah, but it's got like each of the films has a little write-up, but also a beautiful new poster that was designed for it, and they're all just this fantastic retro style. It is gorgeous. I will send you some pictures. It is great, and I love it. But yeah, I've been looking up like new manga to read recently, and my attention was drawn to Kaiju number 8.
I've been looking at that one, actually. It seems very interesting.
But here's the thing. I came across it in a different way. Because I was playing D&D with my with my D&D group last night. And long story short, I needed to find a reaction image based around Franz Kafka's The Metamorphosis. So I think I sent in one of our servers. You probably didn't notice because it's like having a dedicated shitposting channel means that things inevitably get buried. But I did post Lesbian Pride Gregor Samsa. But yeah. Yeah, no, I'll send... I don't know which picture you're referring to, Aftons, whether it's the Godzilla things or the Lesbian Pride Gregor Samsa. I'll send you both. But yeah, apparently, like, the main character of Kaiju number 8 is named Kafka, like, as an allusion to the Metamorphosis. So that's how I...
That's cheeky. I love it.
Yeah. Because he awoke from restless dreams, transformed into a horrible vermin. I never actually read the Metamorphosis. Not Kafka's Metamorphosis, at least. I read Ovid's Metamorphosis, but that's a different thing entirely. And I've read Animorphosis.
What just
an Animorphs kid?
Flying?
Lag, probably.
Oh wait, you're using a hammer. It might have been that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Nah, it's fine. It was amusing.
Oopsie. The Ludroth 27 keeps kicking my ass.
Did you know that... Sorry, my brain's still on Animorphs. Did you know that...
Yeah?
One of the kids from Animorphs was named after the author's firstborn, who ended up becoming a trans woman.
That's cool. So, she was another kind of Animorph.
In a way.
I'm sorry, is that insensitive to say? Can I make jokes like that?
I think it's fine. So,
Okay.
like, if anyone gets on to you, I'll vouch for you.
Okay. No, it's fine. I have a trans friend. It's like those people who say, I'm not racist, but...
As long as you don't actually do the I'm not transphobic, but...
Oh, I hope that if I ever actually do anything, like, to offend the transgender community, I know enough people who are going to call me out on it. Because, like, I know that you will not take any shit.
That is actually a very kind compliment, given my personality.
Well, yeah. No, I try my best to be woke, but you know, I need a proper perspective from trans people in order to actually be good at being woke.
You know, that is the right perspective to have. Is I am not part of this minority. I should not speak as if I know everything about them, and if they start telling me, no, shut up, this thing is wrong, I should listen.
Yeah. And of course, like, you can't make a ton of sweeping generalizations about the trans community because every trans person's experience is different. What is okay for some people might not be okay for others.
Yeah, and...
like, maybe you're okay with an Animorphs joke, but I'm sure there are lots of trans people who would find that insensitive. And I don't know.
But, like, yeah, I've seen a lot of bullcrap of, like...
Wait, this way.
Cis people talking like they know everything about trans folks, and fellow white people talking like they know everything about black folks.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, one of the things is, like, I recognize I'm part of the most privileged demographic in the world. Like, I am a cishet middle-class white man. So, like, I've never had to struggle for anything. But I'm not going to pretend that I understand everybody's troubles. I'm not going to pretend that my experience is universal.
Right.
I'm going to try and listen to people. I think that's one thing I'm good at. Listening to people, which is why I've been talking over you this entire stream.
Nah, you're my best friend, and you know that I'm not the most talkative.
Bonk. So, in a very sort of roundabout way, have you ever watched the anime Lum the Invader Girl?
No, but Sammy loves it.
Did you know that it's one of the few anime to have, like, a British dub?
I did not.
Like, the first version of it to be dubbed into English was done by the BBC, and they sort of treated it like a gag dub.
I mean, it's a gag series, so that kind of fits.
Yeah, but it's just like, I was just sort of reminded of this because the Ludroth armor is sort of like the leopard print caveman aesthetic.
A little bit, yeah.
But yeah, I just thought, you know, it's fun that it's like a British anime dub, not English, British.
Like turning around.
Keep your face in one place so I can smash it.
And so I can get your tail.
Yeah. Really, we need to be at, like, opposite ends of this thing.
Yeah.
I should get some armor that has, like, the, what's the skill that lures enemies?
I don't know, I just, like, I always think of it
something.
as the tank buff.
Yeah.
Because I've been playing too much Final Fantasy.
I mean, if you've been having fun, it's not been too much. As long as it hasn't been interfering with your functioning as a regular human being. Right?
I
Diana?
never function as a normal human being. Ah, crap. I love the blade dance. Damn if I don't sometimes wish that it had less lock.
Yeah. Like, anybody who tells you the dual blades are a quick weapon is lying. Because you do one attack and you're dedicated to it for, like, a week.
Only that one attack, though.
Sure. Alright, I got the stun. Oh hey, it's Bishatan. Hunters only want one thing that's disgusting.
And now ADHD Brain has gone somewhere else. So you may have seen that I did end up doing a collab a week ago, just not with you.
Oh yeah, I was on holiday.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
It went well.
Did you have fun?
Yeah. The gal I was collabing with today is really cute, and I'm very gay.
Man, this is just like we're friends in a teen movie from the 80s. We're gonna gossip about our crushes. Well, I'm glad that it went well.
But, a lot of the folks in her Discord server, herself, and all of the folks that I knew before joining the server included, they only play Rise on PC, and so, like...
Lame.
I want to play with them, but, like, I don't want to get it on PC. I've already sunk so many hours into both my personal save and my stream save.
I mean, if you could transfer it over, or if there were, like, even if it didn't have crossplay, but if it had cloud save, you know? That'd be great.
Hello, Shadowfang.
Hello, Shadowfang.
Just got a little emote of a cute face peeking out from behind a wall.
Okay. I took my thumb off the control stick for a second.
Oh no!
So I was sipping my tea. Okay. Was it Generations and Generations Ultimate that had like cross saving? Like you could transfer your 3DS save to the Switch version.
Yeah, but it was like limited use.
Oh.
Yeah.
Lame. I just want to play games with friends.
3 Ultimate was a good example of cross saves, though. The same game came out for both systems, so...
I mean, the difference with that, though, is that it's both Nintendo systems.
Yeah.
Rather than Nintendo and PC. Yeah.
You still have to do a very slow and admittedly cute transfer process where you got to see Cha-Cha and Kayamba doing the iconic little palico dance that
The Cha-Cha slide.
Smart ass.
One up now, y'all.
Hey, finally! Christ, with how much I was
did
wailing on the damn thing, I thought it was just gonna stay on.
Here is a fun fact for you. The process by which lizards shed their tails is called autotomy. It's most common among invertebrates. Lizards are one of the few vertebrates that do it. And despite what many people would have you believe, lizards can't do it indefinitely. The tail that grows, they can only like grow back their tail once, I think. But there are some limitations to how they can do it. This is not bad though. This is us actually cutting off the tail. It's not the lizard shedding the tail. That would be a cool feature for a monster though. Like if it shed its tail and then its tail attacked you.
Oh, like
that'd be fun.
Like with an octopus, where its tentacles have enough of the brain still in them that they can do stuff on their own.
Well, after they're shed, lizard tails do keep wriggling about for a while, which helps to distract the predator so the lizard can get away. But you know, imagine like a monster where it sheds it. Like when you try to cut off its tail, it sheds its tail, and it continues writhing around for a bit. So that's sort of, you have to be smart when you're trying to go for tail carves. Or alternatively, you could have it so that you can carve the tail multiple times in a fight, but they are less valuable than normal tail carves.
They've done a couple of bless you, a couple of tails that could be carved multiple times before. I think it was only
a lot of the time
twice, and it was like maybe for an elder
dragons only.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the sort of thing that happens very often, because it's quite an integral part of Monster Hunter that you get one carve per tail.
Yep.
Although you can also get rewards for cutting off the tail. Quest rewards and carves are different things.
Yeah.
Which I didn't understand when I was first playing through Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. I thought you got 3 materials per hunt, and that was it. And I didn't understand why I was able to craft so many things.
Aww, little baby.
Yeah, and now I'm a big baby.
Please, if anyone's deserving of that title, it's me. For reasons that we won't go into on stream.
That, in a very roundabout way, that reminds me, I have booked an eye test with the optometrist. I've been meaning to do it for a while.
I should do that as well. I've had these same glasses for like 11 years.
Yeah, well, I think my eyes are probably fine, but I have a friend who insists on sending me Yu-Gi-Oh cards and asking what I think about them. And the thing about Yu-Gi-Oh cards is they're all written in such tiny font.
They are, yeah.
So, like,
a couple of my partners are actually, I think, Dream, Sammy, Alex. At least 3 of my partners are into Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and either for actually playing the game or for just looking at. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So I didn't really play. Like, I watched the anime while 4Kids was dubbing it up until the end of Duelist Kingdom, I think.
Tails over
and
here.
Then I don't. Yeah, Tail. But I haven't played the game in many, many, many years. So this friend was trying to explain to me what synchro summoning was, and what XYZ summoning was, and what pendulum monsters are, and link summons.
Apparently XYZ summoning is pronounced Z's, or something stupid like that.
Z's nuts.
God damn.
Kaboom!
Mop.
Mop counter. Yeah, so I I do not like Yu-Gi-Oh! For a number of reasons. But like the fact that I have to squint every time, like if it's an actual size card, like if it's on a PC, it's fine, you know, because I can zoom in. But there's only
Right.
so far you can zoom in. Like there's only so many pixels on each scan.
Well, like the wiki tends to have really large scans of each card, so that's helpful.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I respect about Magic the Gathering is like they're very careful about legibility. I mean, I'm currently friendship ended with Magic the Gathering for a few reasons now, which I'm not going to get into. But like the fact that the cards are pretty readable, I don't have, I've never had like glasses or anything, but so I don't know how accessible it is for as somebody who does need glasses. But I don't know, they seem fine. They seem legible enough.
Yeah, I have an easy enough time reading them. Sometimes my ADHD is like, lots of words, but
Yeah.
that's not an eyesight thing.
No, not ADHD. You're just a green player.
I actually don't like playing green.
Oh,
Tony
we have a
likes
mutual
playing
friend.
green.
Weirdly, like, although I consider myself a bit of an intellectual, green is one of my favorite colors to play, but never in isolation. Always in combination with something. Green and black, green and blue, green and white. Those are like three of my favorite. Yeah, we have a mutual friend who jokes about being illiterate, and he's just like, yeah, I just play green, so I just look at the numbers. My side quests.
I'm actually not sure which of our friends that is. Is that Nemi?
No, it's Kazine.
Oh! Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was, I think, was he able to make that, No, he wasn't. He wasn't able to make
No,
that
he
session.
was going to join us for Kids on Bikes.
Yeah.
But he didn't. Because work got in the way.
I think it was work, yeah.
In the immortal words of that great poet of our time, Blink 182, work sucks. I know. She left me roses by the stairs. Surprises let me know she cares. Right, what do now? The options are Baroth, Volvidon, Bishaten, Puki, Basarios, and Rathian.
Out of all those, Rathian seems the least annoying.
I mean, have you met Rathian?
Alright. Just from my point of view.
Fair enough. Alright, in that case, we're going to need a bigger boat. We're going to need antidotes and herbal medicine. And then we're going to need to look up what Rathian is weak to. I think it's lightning and dragon. Mostly dragon, a little bit of lightning. I have very few dragon weapons, but I do have the origami axe.
I don't think I have terribly many Durgan weapons, but I do have a motorcycle.
Oh, you're playing Cavaliere, right? That's the
What?
dual blade that Dante has in Devil May Cry 5. Cavaliere.
I still need to play 5. I was going to play all 5 games on stream. Because I never beat 3, as you well know. You should be very aware of which boss I got stuck on.
I know we have discussed it before, but I do not remember. I'm sorry.
Oh, Sparta took my eye. Oh,
Garyon. No, not Garyon. Beowulf.
Beowulf, yes.
Yeah, because he laid the hurting down. He took you on board the Arrow train. That's a Skullgirls reference. That's Beowulf from Skullgirls.
Ah.
No, Devil May Cry 3 is good. Devil May Cry 5 is really good. Devil May Cry 4 is fine. Number 1 is fine. Number 2 is meh. 3 and 5 are the good ones. And 4 is pretty good.
I don't know. I think that for the very beginning, 1 is quite good. You know, just with that context.
Yeah. I mean, I like the structure of number 1. That you have a castle to explore, and that, like, it really does show the, that it used to be a Resident Evil game.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think the exploration and things, that's all really good. But, like, I find the combat so slow, you know? And it's also so unforgiving in comparison to later games in the series. Like, I'm okay with difficult games, but, like, I got stuck in Devil May Cry 1 on my first playthrough, because, like, I always hate games where you've got, like, a finite number of revival items, and it's possible to waste them. And, like, I know you need them for the game, but I was in, like, a really rough place when I was doing one of the Nero Angelo fights. And it was just like, I felt like I needed more of my gold orbs, but I just used them all up earlier, and it's like me. But, like, I like the setting for the first one. I like the situation for it. I find the combat a little bit clunky by modern standards, especially having played later games in the genre and in the series as well.
Yeah, I gotcha. I was a weirdo and wanted to play through them in numerical order. So...
okay.
So
you got to number 2 and thought, okay, the series sucks now.
No, oh, damn it, I forgot to mute my phone. Sorry about that.
It's alright.
Anyway,
You just take the call?
oh, no, it was just a text notification.
Okay. Yeah,
if you hear
naive
that,
of me to think that anybody calls anybody in 2022.
Well, no, if you hear that sound, first, that's from .hack, so I am a nerd.
You didn't need to remind us. You're spending your evening playing a video game while pretending to be an anime girl.
To my actual I've Got a Call incoming ringtone is a song simply titled Ringtone from a short visual novel that I like called One Night Hot Springs with the comma there in the middle.
I see. One night, comma, hot springs.
Yep.
Fox only. Final destination. Do you want to take this one, or shall I? I'll take it. So my phone has been switched off for the past several years because I have anxiety. But when I did have it on, my ringtone was a JoJo reference.
Surprising nobody.
Well, it was basically the you know Vinegar Doppio.
Yes.
So you can play as him in you can play as Diavolo in All-Star Battle, and one of his win quotes is Doppio just making a telephone ringing noise, and so I used that as my ringtone for a while.
That's cute. That's extremely you.
Yeah. But yeah, no, because of anxiety, I no longer have my phone making noise. I miss calls all the time, but if it's not from a number I recognize, I always presume if it's important, they'll either call back or contact me another way or leave a message or whatever.
Yeah, so, big mood.
Yeah. So I don't do phone calls very much anymore. I think that's valid, you know?
Yeah.
I often think so I've been thinking about this a bit recently as well, is like when some people think, oh, you know, I haven't spoken to my friends in ages, I feel really bad about neglecting them. I have friends that I don't speak to for months at a time, and I still consider them really close friends. And I always think about, like, if I was in a Jane Austen novel, and I wanted to send a message to somebody, I would have to send it by, like, a man on a horse. It'd take, like, several weeks to get there. I'd have no guarantee that it even got there, and I'd have to wait weeks for a reply. And so I always think about that in, like, the modern era as, like, you know, communication is almost too fast these days. It's stressful. So I don't know, if it's so urgent that a man on a horse is too slow, then yeah, maybe I will answer the phone. But most of the time, it's not so urgent that I can't afford to wait like a Jane Austen character.
Crap!
Get out of there! Oh, you know what I forgot to bring, actually, is herbal powder.
I did not.
You brought some?
Yep.
Nice.
Ma.
You've also got your cat set up with magic vase.
Man, it's a good thing I've got my my gun set to heal me when I unleash the Daka. Because otherwise I'd be dead right now. A couple times over. Maybe 4.
Aftons is saying, note, if you need to tell Buck something, send a man on a horse. Diana has to set these collabs up a month in advance. Actually, that's how we're playing right now. So, several months ago, Diana sent me her Monster Hunter video and commentary. And then I recorded mine and sent it back to her. just live streaming, but in the days before the internet. Oh, come on! Let me just chug a thing, sir.
Ma'am.
Ma'am, sorry.
I don't know. It might be a transgender Rathian.
Yeah. We don't know. We're just gonna kill it either way. That's called gender equality.
That reminds me of, I went back through my quote-unquote self-publishing channel in my Discord, which is just 2 stories that I wrote, and I was kind of expecting, you know, more input from other people, but, like, it's fine.
Hint, hint. Not bitter at all.
Legitimately not, though.
Alright, I believe you.
And I saw that short story I wrote back at the start of September last year about, like, the little tweet-length short story about the transgender writer and her transgender Rathlos Monsty. And I was like, this is really amateur, but, like, I still love it.
I mean, that's kind of the point of fanfic, right? It's like, it doesn't have to be good or well produced. Most importantly, it needs to make the author feel good.
I mean, there's also the fact that it's tweet length.
So, I follow a Twitter account called Baz 2 Sentence Horror.
Yes, they're amazing.
Now, there is a bit of a problem around it because a lot of people posting on the subreddit are now just like making things that are deliberately bad to try and get featured on the Baz 2 Sentence Horror, and it's like,
yeah, it's
spoiling it for everybody. But there's a lot of bad good stuff on there. But some classics, you know, like Tammy loved playing in the snow. Unfortunately, so did the meatworm. And it's every time this Twitter account posts, somebody inevitably comments about, but so did the meatworm. And another popular one is like talking about the creature. I don't remember what the original one was. The first one I ever saw was like, it doesn't really feel like it doesn't feel like Christmas until we start drinking eggnog. Thankfully, I can just go downstairs and milk some from my creature.
What? That's not even. That's not even.
No,
horror.
it's not. It's not. It's not. It's like some of these people just have no understanding of what horror actually is. I don't know. I really like the premise of the subreddit, you know? Like, force people to be creative by imposing limitations on them. It's one of the things about... Do you know about the Pico 8?
Yes.
I think that's great. For anybody who doesn't know, the Pico 8 is like... It's a fantasy console, which is an emulator built to the specifications of a games console that never existed. But like with a really robust set of development tools. So if you want to make your own...
Mom!
Oh no! If you want to make your own 8-bit games, there's like a really good development thing for that. Because like I feel like people are the most creative when they're forced to work to specific limitations. I don't know. It's one of the reasons why I could rant about any number of things. I've ranted about so many things before. Just pretend that I'm doing another rant here. I'm just gonna hydrate.
Yeah.
Oh, I got 2 cards from this one.
Like, I've seen a lot of examples of going the other way, where too much freedom, you're not able to
Push check.
actually do anything with
Hmm.
any sort of value.
Yeah, it's like I. One of the things I always point to is like kind of the pinnacle of creativity. The Gen 1 Pokemon games, there is no wasted space on that cartridge, you know? Like, if there's... Whenever it's not using a space in RAM, it dumps it and fills it again. And that's how you can get so many glitches. People will often say, like, oh, you know, the Gen 1 Pokemon games were held together with shoelaces. But the fact is, they had such a small... Like, they had so little power, and they managed to create something so efficient, and that's the reason some of the glitches happen. You know?
Yeah.
I just think it's great. But then as later Pokemon games get on, you get fewer of those glitches, which is kind of a good thing. But also, the games feel a lot sparser, you know? Sorry, I need to retreat quickly.
Yeah, I kind of felt that with Sword and Shield, actually.
I mean, Sword and Shield is another thing that I could rant for ages about. Man, I should really just stop having opinions. It's so tiring.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. The thing is, I like liking things, and I want to like things, but I feel like there is a thread of criticism and in some way cynicism that runs through my way of just looking at the world. I was very disappointed by Pokemon Sword and Shield, and when they announced Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I just thought this is gonna suck, because they're not focusing on making a good product; they're focusing on making a product quickly.
Yeah.
Like, I really like... I've not played Legends Arceus, but I've heard good things about it. And one of the things I really like about it is that it changes up the formula so much. But Sword and Shield was so faithful to the formula, like, to a fault.
To a major fault, honestly.
Like, it was practically a distillation of what the Pokemon games are about. Like, it is... there is nothing in it outside the main progression of the people have come to expect from the games, you know? Like, I love Pokemon Black and White, and Black 2 and White 2, because there's so many side quests and areas to explore that aren't part of the main story, and like extra features in it. I love... I don't know. Again, I like liking things, and I want to believe the best in people. And I want people to make things that are good, but I also want people to make things that are fulfilling, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's all fine and well for people to make things that are successful and popular or whatever, but I want to live in a world where people have the freedom to create without having to worry about what's profitable, and instead are able to make things for the joy of making it. But that's not to say that I think that people should have like unlimited resources to do things.
Right,
because
I bring this back to a sort of segue I was intending to make earlier. I watched a stream called Watch and Play on Loading Ready Run on their Twitch channel and YouTube archives. And a lot of the games that they show off on Watch and Play are exactly that. These people who have access to Unity and do absolute nothing with it. Because they're trying to do absolutely everything with it and achieving none of it.
Yeah. I mean, so I watch, there's a couple of British YouTubers and streamers, Triple Jump, I think Maisie talked about them a bit when I had her on last. But they run a series called Worst Games Ever. I was watching one of their things earlier, which is about like a piece of PS2 shovelware, and in one of the reviews, they quoted like an interview with one of the developers, and he basically said, if you're running a small independent studio, unfortunately, it's the reality that you end up working on outsourced projects just to pay staff to work on outsourced projects, because like you're trying to balance the books, but you never end up with time or money to actually like make something of your own.
Right.
Which I think is really interesting. So like a lot of game developers aren't in it for just like easy money, but they take up really shitty jobs, pardon my language, just so they can, get the studio off the ground. But unfortunately that gets them stuck in that vicious circle of just like making trash.
A different kind of development hell.
Yeah. And I think it would be great if, like... So I was thinking about this yesterday, actually, like, about filmmaking, do you know about Jason? I think it's Jason Blum. I think Stephen Blum is an actor.
Yeah, he's
I think it's Jason Blum. Yeah. So, Jason Blum, or Bloom, maybe, of Bloomhouse. He's a producer, and what he does is he gives a little bit of money to lots of different projects, so that if one of them succeeds, he makes a huge return on investment. Like I am very firmly of the opinion that it's better to have more stuff produced than less stuff, and the exclusivity of the film industry is really detrimental. So I think having people more access to distribution and like production and all that sort of thing, that's great. But we do also need like curation and accountability, because there is so much trash on Netflix and Amazon Prime especially.
God, yeah.
But
like there have been good things on both.
Oh,
like,
absolutely,
Counter Amazon's was on Amazon Prime. And though it was only briefly available outside of Japan, it was still fantastic, says a girl who watched it through gray legal means.
Yeah. But I think like people, I like it when people have the freedom to make projects that they like, that they want to do. And that's why I think that I don't like anything that Jason Blum has created, because he mostly does like horror. He did like the Paranormal Activity. He did. Now he did do. What's the hypnotism one, where they try and like take a guy's brain and put it in a black man's body because of weird ideas about race science?
I've not heard about that one. That sounds disgusting.
Well, the thing is, I think it was Jordan Peele, who like all of his work. Well, not all of his work, but a lot of it is about race relations and like his experiences growing up black.
If it was him doing it, then
oh yeah.
I've heard
no,
a lot
it's like
about his work, so I'm more willing to trust something with his name on it.
Yeah, like I kind of explained it badly, but it's like basically the villains are a group of white people who believe that black people they have better bodies but worse minds, and so they transplant white people's brains into the black people's bodies, and it's just horrifying. It's really bad, but like effective horror in that way. Anyway, that's something that Jason Blum produced, and it had a very low budget for like Hollywood things. But it was immensely successful and really like good creatively, and that's the sort of thing that I would like to encourage. Like just more filmmakers with access to small budgets able to get their work out there. Because like if something is good, that means that people will actually have access to it. rather than arbitrarily restricting things.
Right. And requiring services like I used to watch camera Amazons.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm gonna look this up because it's gonna bother me otherwise. Sorry, I'm just taking a quick retreat. Oh, Rathian's coming back. Sorry, I'm gonna Farcaster out of here. Do I have a Farcaster? I do not have a Farcaster. Okay, I'm just gonna go down here. Hello, Mr. Google. Oh, hello. Rathian just ran over me. Jordan Peele filmography. Get Out, it was called.
Oh! That's what that movie's about?
Yeah.
There were tons of ads for it back in the day. I never found out what the deal with it was.
Yeah, no, it's like you've probably seen references to like the hypnosis space that they put the guy into. Yeah, no, he does a huge, like, I love Jordan Peele. I think he does great work. Where is it? Get Out. There we are.
Damn it. Wrong.
Yeah, I think I've spoiled some of the twists for you.
That's fine.
Chris Washington is a black photographer from New York. Yeah, it's like the thing is, like, I described it in a pretty bad way, but the film is about race relations and like perceptions of race, which, you know, I find it. I think it's really good that Jordan Peele is like talking about his own experiences very candidly and in a way that is not exactly accessible to everybody, but certainly like getting it out there.
Woo!
But yeah, it would just be nice if people were free to make the media that they wanted to without having to worry about whether it's popular or profitable or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I really like indie hobbyist developers, where they're not doing it as a job, but they're doing it just to yoke. Like, do you know about Cave Story?
I'm acutely aware of it. I've not played it myself. I've read a lot about it, but most of what I've read has slipped through the cracks over the years.
Yeah. The thing about Cave Story is, like, it was a passion project for the developer. It was a labor of love that took place over several years. He wasn't a full-time game developer. He didn't do it as a job, and the game was released for free. But because it was good, because people really liked it, it got picked up for publication by Nintendo and on Steam and all that sort of thing. So I've actually paid for the game several times, even though I have also played the free version all the way through. But I think Cave Story is really like the greatest success story when it comes to like indie development. Well, maybe that and Undertale.
Sorry, I didn't get to have lunch before we went live.
Yeah,
so
I'm sorry for waking you up. Have your chicken breakfast.
Excuse you, I had Pop-Tarts for breakfast.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I had chicken in the oven like right before we went live, and it got done right before we went live, and so I haven't really gotten the chance to eat most of it. Or actually, no, I have eaten most of it. I just haven't been able to finish it yet.
I should have opened a window before this. I am getting really warm. It's about that time of year when the temperature starts to change. You know, the cold has left the air, the crispness, but it's still very changeable. And when I'm running a computer and a Switch, and they're both being forced to work really hard, the room heats up pretty quickly. All right. Okay. Right. Here are our options. Baroth. Volvidon times 2. Bishaten. Puki, and Basarios. I'm gonna swap dog for cat also.
Let's see. Of course, that boy would be weak to water.
Wow.
Oh.
Whoa. You didn't tell me you were secretly British, Diana. Water bottle. Oh my god. Have you watched the high five animation when you play with your cat?
Not in a while.
Could you do that for me? Please?
Let me just... Mud Ripper. Wrong direction. Oh.
Uh-huh.
Bubble spin.
It was good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wait, is this the top tier for the water bottle? Oh, for now, yes. Oh, I just noticed that. Okay, so going back to the discussion we had about games that try to be too much, that are too ambitious. Afton says to recommend Satisfactory, a factory game that is very aware of what it is not. Sounds good.
Didn't the devs for that come out as like kind of hateful about one group or another?
Oh no. Oh no. Recommendation rescinded. I
really hope I'm misremembering, but I think it was a game that is in that sort of oeuvre that the devs turned out to be really, really transphobic or something.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Hello when that happens.
Yeah. Dang it. I keep... My brain keeps shuffling up what I'm currently playing. I hit B to try to accept because of all the Final Fantasy I've been playing lately. I hit X to try to open the menu because of all the Digimon I've been playing lately. Just everything is in jumbles.
I've been playing a lot of Risk of Rain 2 recently.
I've been meaning to play more.
If my computer was strong enough, I would have to do it on stream because I've been having so much fun lately. I told you about the extra buttons I got for my controller, didn't I?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, it's like it makes playing Artificer so much easier because like Otherwise, you would have to hold down one of the face buttons and also use the right analog stick, and it just wouldn't work. So. Ugh. Yeah, we should play Risky Rain with Aftons.
Yeah!
On stream or off.
We should mod it to have a lot of different, like, we should do the Too Many Friends mod and bring in as many folks as we can.
Have you seen this tiny little dragon that sits on top of the soup shop sign?
What?
So the Dango, the tea shop out in the village. There's a little hanging sign.
Right.
And there's a tiny little dragon perching on it. I don't know if it's always there. I've never noticed it before.
Oh! That's my Cahoot.
Oh, that's your Cahoot. Oh, I see. Right. My one just looks like a bird. Like a bird do. Here it is.
Yeah, I have bad impulse control, so I have most of the DLC packs.
I have been really tempted. I've been really tempted by them. What other clothes do I have? The Stealth Wolf. It's like a little pupper. It's currently named Hootsafer, because if I'm going to name an owl anything, it is going to be an Owl House reference. Man, I'm really frustrated about the Owl House at the moment.
More big company shenanigans?
No, just like region locking stuff. I don't even know if it's airing on Disney Channel in the UK, but like I see lots of people tweeting out about it, and it's not on Disney Plus in the UK yet. And I found out that actually a lot of VPN companies are really bad. So
I haven't heard anything bad about Surfshark, so if you want to give them a try.
Yeah, well, in any case, I'm going to be unsubscribing from NordVPN in particular.
Oh,
I know
yeah,
that they were purchased by a malware manufacturer that installs cryptocurrency mining software on your computer without your consent or knowledge.
Yep.
Isn't it great that like everything is a scam these days?
Yeah, totally.
Don't you love it? Right.
So,
Dre?
I named my Cahoot Kagutsuchi after... Well, for one, I've got my character named after one of the kami from Shinto mythology to fit with the whole Japan theme, so... I figured...
Tsukuyomi is the moon god, right?
Yeah. A lot of stuff...
Wait.
Oh?
I'm taking a picture. Make a pose. How pose?
Cannot pose with owl.
Oh, well, I'll just take a picture like this then. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. All good.
But yeah, I figured I've already got the Moon Kami. Why not have the Flaming Serpent Kami who killed the All-Mother Kami with his birth?
Oh. That's fun. Are we going to go for Basarios then, as we've both equipped ourselves with or Baroth? Because you were talking about using the bicycle.
The bicycle was for Rathian.
Oh, I see.
The motorcycle is Zenogre's HBG.
Oh, I thought you were talking about these dual blades.
Oh!
That's why I made the Cavaliere reference. Because it's like, that's like Dante's dual blades.
See, now,
Anyway.
the HBG doesn't have any wheels on it.
Ah, but if you combined it with the dual blades,
Wah!
magic.
Yeah. I was thinking Viserios or Volvodon.
I hunted so many Volvidon recently because they're like the only way to get paralysis sacks. Or like the quickest way to get paralysis sacks. Ooh, ee-hwa. Oh, did I tell you? Itch.io was doing a bundle of tabletop games for charity because they are always very, very active about charities. So now I own Thirsty Sword Lesbians.
Oh, rad.
Yeah. I think I've mentioned that I've been saying for a while that I want to do more tabletop game streams because even though it was months ago, I really did enjoy doing Kids on Bikes.
Same.
And I just think it would be fun to do like lots of little role playing games. So Thirsty Sword Lesbians is on my list.
Well, I would love to have that be my first DMing experience.
Oh, you'd like to DM it?
That is what we talked about with, like, Rabbit and Burrick.
I'm going to be honest. We talk about a lot of things with a lot of people, and unless I write it down, it's just in one ear out the other.
Fair enough.
I started bullet journaling recently, which I think has helped. I don't know. I can't tell. But yeah, no, that will be fun. I've got a bunch of other games on my list as well. Right. I forgot to bring coatings with me. Just need to get those. I can use Sleep, Blast, and Exhaust. Ooh, I can use Blast. I love Blast coating. I just love explosions. I know it's a stupid thing, but
It's not stupid.
I like explodings. Your head explode.
Yeah. Explosions roll.
It seems weird that it's a water-based bow, but you can make explosions with it. This is actually also a great monster for this bow, or a great bow for this monster, because the Almudron bow uses spread shots, which means that Basarios is just going to get a whole load of broadsides.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Oops. I'll try not to take a hit. I don't know how effective explosions are against this guy. My guess is going to be not very. Oh, 180, that's alright.
Oh wait, why did I use that?
You tell me.
I would, but I don't know. Nerf?
Is that a mop? Or is
No.
a Yorp different?
Nerf is different than a mop. I think we went over this a couple weeks ago.
I didn't remember. Again, I didn't write it down, so
Fair enough.
I'll have to write down, like, I'll start a new bullet journal spread for the various noises Diana makes.
Please don't.
I won't.
I'm actually a little self-conscious about them, despite actually quite enjoying them as, like, just a thing that my brain has picked up from one person doing once and then mutating it into my own thing that, whoa, what in the...
What?
He was running face first into a wall, then he teleported to be running face first into a different part of the wall, facing the opposite direction, and then he jumped up the wall.
Lag, baby. Wait, was that? I'm gonna grab that. Blah. I'm trying to work out where its weak points are when it's not
Flamin' hot.
on fire. Flaming hot Cheetos, yeah.
That was the joke, yes.
Yeah. The two elements are Flamin' Hot Cheetos and Cool Ranch Doritos.
What about the poison?
That is... I just make a joke about, like, any sort of snack food, you know?
Fair enough.
Whichever snack food you don't like is the poison.
Oh, it's Hardee's.
Probably skipped.
I know
I know.
Hardee's isn't snack food. It's a restaurant. It's a fast food place that... if you're familiar with Taco Bell's reputation, they've got a bit of a similar one.
Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
But, like, they also just, from everything I've heard, I haven't actually eaten any Hardee's. Everything I've heard is that they also just plain don't taste good.
Oh, I just jumped off I just jumped off a cliff. I'm so foolish.
Back at me. That was
That's
a
me.
terrible Excalibur impression.
He's the little guy in Soul Eater, isn't he?
Yes.
Who's like a super powerful weapon, but is super annoying, which is why nobody wants him.
Yeah, and then he almost finds someone willing to wield him who can put up with all of his bullshit because the kid's kind of a doormat. But then he gets annoyed by the fact that Excalibur, like, has a sneezing fit one time. And doesn't bother saying excuse me or anything.
I kind of like that as a relationship. Like, this guy is willing to forgive everything.
Except this super minor thing that...
That's peak comedy.
Yeah. And everyone around him is like, that's the reason why you got annoyed with him?
Yeah.
And, like... if I remember correctly, because it's been like a decade since I watched Soul Eater.
I only read like the first 3 books, and then I was gonna read some more, and then I couldn't be bothered, and then I found Soul Eater Not, and that was really cute. So
Yeah. Except they make Black Star look like a gorilla, which is weird.
yeah, but yeah. No, I really like the premise of Soul Eater. It's just one of those many series where it's like I just kind of forgot to watch more of it.
But yeah, if I remember correctly, Excalibur is like, I love coffee in the morning, and he's drinking green tea. Like, in the middle of the afternoon.
Have you watched Girl Chan in Paradise?
I'm aware of it, but no, I have not.
So, along with every other anime trope in existence, it parodies the ridiculous Americanization of anime, like about how nothing beats a jelly-filled donut. So they're very explicitly in a sushi restaurant, but they talk about it being hot dogs and flapjacks with syrup instead of soy sauce. And then the villain shows up, and it's like, all right, I'll leave you to get back to your hamburgers, and then they just punch him into space. He's like, they are hot dogs. It's very good. It's very good.
Eat your hamburger, Apollo.
Just eat your hamburger, Apollo. I think about that all the time, honestly. It's a good thing there's no friendly fire when you're riding a wyvern, because you just slammed that.
Yeah, I didn't mean to, but
my face.
I saw that and I was like, oh no!
It's like that meme about, does this game have full damage? Jumps off an edge. Yes. Yes, it does. Does this game have friendly fire?
Kills a Marine, it proceeds to get absolutely murdered by, like, everyone else. Yes. And punishment for friendly fire. That was something I enjoyed in the early Halo games.
Hello. Hello. HW8 Vis. I presume this is somebody I know? It might be. Hello. How are you doing?
Whoops. Excuse me. I
Forgive
forgot
him.
that my weapon was drawn. Ah, he... Excuse me, jeez. He's underground. That means I can sharpen. Nope, don't come over here.
Some people might say my life is in a rut, but I'm quite happy with what I've got. Ah, I see. Well, welcome to the stream, 8W8Viz. I'm very glad to have you here. As you can see, we're just hunting some monsters with my good friend Diana.
Hello.
I could just say Viz. Okay, thank goodness. I presume that 8W8 is an emote of like a cat face, but with like four eyes.
It sounds like one of Friska's emotes.
She usually uses like three. Like, this is why I was thinking it might be one of our friends. But no, Vriska tends to do like 3 colons and a semicolon. You know, because she has 8 eyes and she only winks with one of them.
Right. Yes.
Dream
Dream is gonna be
Yes.
upset that we talked about Friska without her. Have you done much? Sorry, random tangent from an outsider's perspective, but I promise there's a line of logic to it. Have you read Homestuck 2 at all?
No. Nope.
So there are...
No, I didn't finish Homestuck 1. I've not played the games. I've not read any like spin-offs or anything. No, I've not. Right, I got to the Gigapause and then kind of forgot about it.
I finished Homestuck and played Volume 1 of Hive Swap, and that's about it.
Ah, thank you for gifting a sub, Aftons. And welcome to the community, Viz. I don't have a name for like my subscribers, but I just call my followers dearlings. I don't have a fun name for like Diana's got library cards and stuff like that.
The Reading Club.
The Reading Club, that's it. Did you decide on library theming because you really like visual novels, or because you really like novels?
Both.
Good stuff. Anyway, you were asking me about Homestuck 2, The Quickening.
Yes, so in Homestuck The Quickening, Rose and Kayana are the lesbian parents of a bunch of new babby trolls.
Okay.
And one of them is named Rissy, with an
I
SY at the end instead of a KA.
Yeah, I got it. I understood.
And,
that's cute.
Yeah. And she's cute, and also... I have mentioned before that dream is plural.
Mm-hmm.
Vrissy ended up being one of the many, many fictive headmates of dreams. Fictive being the term for a headmate who has some basis in some form of media or something. Like, they are effectively a fictional character.
Okay.
So yeah, us discussing Vriska made me remember Vrissy.
Oh, that's cute.
Because, like, the semi-canon, because Homestuck 2 is ambiguously canon.
I kind of like it when shows are just like... like somebody will ask the show's creator, what's canon? And he's just like, I don't know. You decide.
Yeah. I mean,
like
it's literally named Homestuck 2 Beyond Canon. But yeah,
Wait. It's over here, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, I shouldn't have taken the low road. Sorry, carry on.
I kind of forgot any point I had to bring up Vrissy, besides she's cute and sweet. And like...
Cute and sweet. We did it.
I don't know.
I need to adjust my chair. Give me a second. Let me see if I can remember how to... Boop. Nope. Which one is it? Doop. Doop. Nope. Okay, apparently it's neither of these. Never mind. Ugh.
I should return this honey mustard to the fridge.
Okay.
Sorry, just... I remembered that it was on my desk because I like honey mustard with my chicken.
Fair enough. I like honey mustard with my salad.
I'll have to try that next
Well,
time.
honey
Okay.
mustard,
I'll have to
honey
try.
mustard dressing.
Yeah.
Thank you for lurking, Viz. Glad to have you here. I don't have the lurk command set up just yet, but I'll remember that you're here. Make a little mental check.
I have a lurk command set up, but like nobody uses it because nobody comes to my streams.
Go and put your thing back in the fridge, Diana.
Okay. I will meet myself, but not you.
Okay. Well, I'll just keep talking to your viewers then, I guess. My Meowcenaries have come back. I've got some Sinister Cloth. That's good. I think I was looking to upgrade my... Hold. This one. I need one more. If I add these to the wish list... Oh, hang on. I remember I got some Bishaten fur. Still need one more. Man, the Camera tickets and buddy tickets, those are just really annoying when you want a lot of them. Because it's like, just give me... What do you want me to do, game? I also I bought this. I bought the core scythe. Because I just think it looks edgy and cool. You know, it's like Birdhead. I'm gonna get the next quest set up while Diana's in the fridge. Alternatively, hang on. Wait. There we go. Yeah, I'm not quite lined up. There we go. There we go. That's a bit close, but that'll work. No, I should really be further away for the full effect.
Greetings, my friend Kagami!
Is that me?
Dream's been watching Kamara Kabuto recently, and so it's become Kabuto meme central up in the library lately.
I see.
Kamara Sasord at one point decides that he's best friends with Kamara Gatak, whose name is Arata Kagami, and so he anytime he sees Kagami, he's like, my friend Kagami.
I'm gonna presume that's a flawless impression.
He emphasizes the ga way too much. Also, that show is a lot more comedy-based than I remembered. I haven't watched it myself since, like, 2018, so 14 years ago.
Sorry, 14?
Yeah, or... Sorry, 2008.
There you go. There
we go. I've been having a hard time with speaking numbers lately. I keep saying that my level for Summoner in Final Fantasy XIV is level 60-something when it's level 80-something. I keep thinking 2018 instead of 2008. Like, I don't know what's up with me lately.
Yeah, sometimes brain just do be hard like that.
Yeah. But yeah, all I remembered of Kabuto was like who all the writers are, and like the fact that the title character Kabuto himself is like almost a parody of Kamen Stronger, being this perfect guy who can do whatever the hell he wants and can do no wrong, and just a little bit of a spoiler, he becomes the most wanted man in all of Japan, and just walks into a crowded, like, street, and, like, effectively the Japanese equivalent of Times Square, and is just like,
Right.
Sup? I'm the man who walks the path of heaven and will rule over everything.
So he turns from a hero into a villain. Gotcha.
Oh no, he's still the hero.
Oh. Just declaring himself God is still part of his hero's journey, is it?
He's been doing that since we first met him at the start of episode 1, when a wallet snatcher tried to slit his throat because the victim of the wallet snatching was chasing him. Kabuto is weird.
I can tell.
Like, even by commoner standards, Kabuto is weird.
Well, at least they're not like just doing the same thing over and over again. At least they're trying different things.
Yeah. Doesn't always work, like with the second half of Comrade Ghost. But, eh.
Well, at least they're trying.
Yeah.
I'd rather somebody try something new and fail than just do the same thing again and again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quest time, quest time, quest time, quest time, quest time. Visha 10. I forget what these guys are weak to.
I also forget.
Let's check the notes.
Yes.
Ice, first, then fire. Do I have a single ice weapon?
I have an ice weapon. It's rarity 1.
I have 4. I put ice on the rampage bow, presumably specifically for this thing. Like if I didn't have another ice weapon. I also have the magical girl hunting horn, which is ice in this game. When it used to be dragon.
We could go dual hunting horns with different horns.
Yeah, we could do. I would, if we did that, I would like to upgrade my magical girl thing because it's not very strong right now.
Alright, I don't have any.
Oh, I don't have. Whatever.
I don't have any.
Yeah, I need a block of ice.
Weapons. My ice hunting horn is not great, so I'm just gonna focus raw damage.
Just go raw.
Yeah.
You know what? I might go for raw as well. What is the highest damage? Sort by attack power. The highest damage weapon I have is the Ninja Parasol with 160 base damage.
Damn.
But this game uses the inflated numbers, doesn't it?
I think the opposite.
Oh?
Yeah.
Oh, no, okay, yeah, it's sorted by weapon type and then by damage. So it's not telling me what my highest damage weapon is. It's telling me what my highest damage of each category is. So, hammer. Yeah. The origami axe. I think the origami axe is actually like... We're gonna go for rice. We're gonna go rice. Rice, baby.
I've already forgotten who I selected this for. What are we fighting?
Bishop 10.
Ah. Alright, then I don't need any
Mon-
elemental resistances.
Monkey. Ooh, Afton has asked for a bad joke. Okay, let me think. Give me a minute to think.
What's brown and sticky?
I don't know. What's brown and sticky?
A stick!
Oh, very good. Very clever. That's a pretty bad joke. I'm trying to think of a worse joke. Do you know about like those Twitter accounts or Tumblr blogs where it's like jokes written by kids?
Yes.
Like, what's a dinosaur's favorite color?
I don't know.
Shut up. Like, my mum often tells stories about when I was a wee fawn, and I just like sitting in the back of the car telling what I thought were jokes, because like I understood the rhythms of comedy, like how people emphasized words when they were telling jokes, but like I didn't understand what humor was.
That sounds super precious.
Yeah, I don't remember any like specific examples, but you can imagine. You know what things aren't jokes but sound like jokes. Okay, here is a bad joke for you, Aftons. What grey has 4 legs and a trunk? A mouse going on holiday.
Classic.
Yep. I had a lot of joke books when I was a kid. You know, I think you can roughly divide kids into 2 groups. The groups that actually like was funny and told jokes and made people laugh, and the kind that read joke books. I'll give you another one for free because it took me so long to think of that one. Why couldn't the two elephants go swimming? It's because they only had one pair of trunks. Was that you applauding?
That was me doing.
Was that you clapping for me? Terrible joke.
That
Oh,
was
rim
me
shot.
Trying to do a rim shot with my thighs.
I see. Oh, come on, buddy. Come on, monkey man. Monkey. I watched Kung Fu Panda again recently, with my family, because apparently Maisie's never seen Kung Fu Panda 3, and we were packing to come home from holiday, and we were looking for like a film that is really easy to watch, and Kung Fu Panda just happened to be on the top of Netflix's homepage. So we watched Kung Fu Panda, and then we watched Kung Fu Panda 2, and it was pretty fun. We didn't get to Kung Fu Panda 3.
So Maisie still hasn't seen Kung Fu Panda 3.
Maisie still has not seen Kung Fu Panda 3. She will do though. Well, she's. Oh, by the way, while I've got her in my mind, can we get a pog for Maisie because she had it in her dissertation today.
Oh, that's super awesome.
Her undergraduate thesis, which had been causing her grief for so long. She's finally had it in. She still has other projects to do before the end of term, before she can graduate, but she's like one step closer to being Maisie Muir. I think she's going to be MSc or M-Psych. I forget which.
Well, that's pretty PogChamp.
Yeah, she's pretty pog. I'm so proud of her. Like she's had so much trouble with it. Like, you know, anxiety runs in the family. I'm sure she wouldn't mind me telling you that. But she's also had like real issues, like finding a supervisor who would adequately provide her with support that she needed. Like she's had real difficulty finding lecturers who are able to give feedback on like, because so I have a degree in history, and the process of doing a history dissertation is very different to the process of doing a psychology dissertation. Like she actually had to design like an experiment and a questionnaire and all that sort of thing, and it just sounds super complicated. But she's done it. She's handed it in, and I'm really proud of her. So yeah. Pog in the chat from Maisie.
You should get some emails from Maisie made.
Yeah, I should. Especially because, like, if she takes the summer off rather than going to get a job, I can actually have her on the stream more often.
Stop! Stop with the spinning!
Let's Beyblade! Oh man, so in a sort of roundabout way, a lot of the English dub of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is available on YouTube. So I've been working my way through Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season 1. And oh boy, it's something. One thing that I noticed is like, characters will often mention, oh, you know, he's so skilled at this game when they play one card, and it's like, where did he learn how to do that? Because he read the card, and it's bizarre. Like, I know that's part of the thing is like the whole world revolves around this card game, but even still, it's like, you'd expect some people to be like, can you just... I find it difficult to believe that in a world where card games are such serious business, net decking doesn't happen.
Oh Christ, net decking, yeah. That's a really good point.
No, the cards in the English dub have no text. The cards in the Japanese version do have text. They changed the design of the cards for the English dub, and they also introduced a plot hole in that regard, because there's one episode where Taya is in a duel, and she's like, oh, I've drawn this card, and I'm sure it could help me, if only I could remember what it does. And it's like, come on, man. Yu-Gi-Oh! Would be even... Like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is already pretty bad when it comes to having to remember what the different cards do because of the tiny text. But, like, imagine if they had no text at all. That would be so much worse. But yeah, no, it's just interesting to me that people are like, wow, he's so good at this game. It's like, dude, he played one card. I've never seen such impressive technique. What, you've never seen a one card? It's mad. It's mad.
And I think I'm gonna find if I can stand. No?
I know the song, but I don't know how the rest of it goes.
Well,
It's Bittersweet Symphony by Blur, right?
no, it's Mad World.
Oh. Never
That's
mind
the joke. Cause mad.
Okay.
You goofus.
I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
You're fine.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. I'm just as much a
I
goofus.
I don't recognize what's emo pop apparently. I don't even know if that's the era or the genre. So.
Oh damn it! Of course it runs up to the Ludroth right as I throw some easy meat bait right at where it was.
So here's a question. When you fill up the Mounted Punisher gauge, do you go for it right away, or do you like get another couple of good hits in?
So, I know a lot of people will say, oh, you should do the latter, but I don't. I personally don't. Because, like, monsters...
What are you doing, Ludroth? Tokyo drifting all over the place. Sorry, go on.
Monsters do a lot more damage than hunter weapons can.
Hmm. Ah! No! Tsukuyomi, no! Do you have the second the subcamp unlocked on this map?
I don't have any subcamps unlocked on this map.
I think there is only the one.
Well, either way, I don't have it.
Yeah. Well,
I've
sucks
probably
to suck.
gone the... Wow! I wasn't expecting to
I'm
get
sorry.
that thrown in my face.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm only
it's-
half serious.
It's fine. I say that jokingly to Tony all the time.
I honestly love it as a friend. I'm stuck between the monkey's legs. Please do not take that out of context.
Oh, if only we had a quote databank for you.
You could start one. but it sounds like a lot of work.
Yes, it does. And I'm
'Cause
kind
it's
of...
a bittersweet symphony that's life.
I took a wrong turn in Albuquerque.
I believe it's pronounced Albuquerque.
Smartass.
Yeah. Good old bugs.
Is it still up here, or is it down that hole?
It's here.
Still up here. Awesome.
Hello,
I'm
friend.
glad I did not jump down the hole.
The hole.
The hoil.
The hoil. I'm
Mop.
so glad that you can block things that don't really... Well, no, I guess blocking a flash of light makes sense, because you're shielding your eyes.
Yeah.
But
shield.
explain to me how blocking a monster's roar works.
You're in a studied position. I guess.
I guess. Alright. I took a hit, but I charged up my sword, which is the main thing. And by sword, I mean pestle. He throws a lot of grapes, doesn't he?
I think they might be intended as rotten, shit, what are they called?
Persimmons.
Yes. I was... Fuck you, monkey. I was thinking of like, mandarin oranges or something. But yes, you are correct in that they are persimmons.
I died. I did. Ow!
It's okay.
Oh.
We'll be
I
fine.
pulled a
He's
muscle.
not using 10 jellos.
Yeah, it would be awful if he was using Satsumas or Clementines.
I always forget about clementines.
Yeah. Wait, this shortcut doesn't lead to where I need to be.
At least past where you need to be.
I took a wrong left turn at Albuquerque.
And of course he starts immediately running away from where you were.
Monkey. Well, at least I can travel back to home base. Ugh.
And now I've got Weird Al stuck in my head.
Albuquerque.
A, L, L, B, B,
B,
U, U.
You.
Kirky! Kirky! I need to listen to that song more.
Way back when I was just a little bitty boy, living in the back end of the stairs in a corner of the basement, half a block down the street from Jerry's Bait Shop. You know the place. I used to know the whole thing all the way through. I probably still recite most of it. Rip. I got.
Rest and rip.
Rest and rip. I'm glad you started saying that.
I've been saying that for years.
Yeah, but like for the longest time, right? I thought I was the only person who said that. Like a lot of people would say R.I.P. in peace, and I would respond with rest and rip, and then the conversation would just be complete silence. It was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I picked it up from a YouTuber from a now defunct Canadian Let's Play group.
I also picked it up from a YouTuber from. I've not actually checked on them in a long time, but they did a series called Glitch Fest. Might have been both. I just think it's funny, you know, because like people sometimes say "rip in peace" because they don't realize that RIP stands for rest in peace. As like ATM machine or PIN number, or things like that, you know.
The Department of Redundancy Department.
Yeah. But the thing about rest and rip is like it can't be that because it's not RIR in R, you know?
Right.
It just amuses me. It's like calling it an ATM machine, but instead of an ATM machine, calling it an ATM device or something.
Or saying ATM stands for automatic teller device.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying like GPS system, but actually that one's not so redundant because the GPS system, the global positioning system can be a device which uses the satellite, an ATM console, exactly. Stay where you are, monkey. Bonk. There we go. Now you can move again.
That fucking hurricane dash thing that it does.
Yeah, that's always the one.
I don't remember it doing it quite with so little startup, or
we're in high rank, baby.
Yeah, or quite as quickly.
Ugh. My tummy hurt.
My tongue is green. I knew you'd appreciate that one.
Of course. It's one of many things that we bond over.
Yeah.
Monkey sleepy.
That reminds me, during the collab I had last week with Take-Two, and then several of her friends, some of whom were people I wanted to be friends with for a while anyway, so, meh. Anyway, I forget if it was Tay herself or someone else who said, my stomach hurts, and so I responded, my tongue is green. And nobody got it because they created...
They just say stummy.
They just say the phrase, my stomach hurts, without any knowledge of Cinco Man.
Shame. Well, you can always make those references with me. So unless it's something super obscure. Like, I'm afraid I've got some bad news, boys. That's not even super obscure. Sorry, I just had to time my dodge.
Fair.
I'm probably gonna get it.
Oh, son of a tit!
Monkey.
Goldie!
Yike.
Thanks
that's
for
somehow
the
gonna hit
help,
me.
Goldie. Not like you were a foot away from me, or maybe 3.
I've had some incredibly lucky misses today. Must be because I leveled adaptability.
Damn it! What? I got immediately knocked out for no apparent reason.
He had... I don't know. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Afton's, like, adaptability is just, like, a joke in the Dark Souls community, because they added it in Dark Souls 2, and nobody liked it. So, people saying, like, just level adaptability is, like, the Dark Souls 2 equivalent of just get good. I mean, people do also still say get good about Dark Souls 2, but just level adaptability is the...
So what did adaptability actually do? Was that the one that increased your iframes?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, oh, was it in Dark Souls 1? I forget. It wasn't... I know it wasn't in Bloodborne, the best of the series. It doesn't do anything in Dark Souls 1. That's interesting. But yeah, in Dark Souls 2, 2 stats could affect your iframes, attunement and adaptability, and it was a weird function of the two. But like, if you leveled adaptability, you didn't have to level attunement, and vice versa.
Would leveling both just be kind of pointless?
No, I think there are reasons to level both, but it's not like you get kind of diminishing returns.
Right.
I just finished my Dark Souls 2 playthrough with all the DLCs, and I think I finished with about 30 adaptability. Which I think is the soft cap if you don't level attunement.
That's when returns started becoming absolute horse crap.
Exactly. The thing is, I didn't even need that much. Like I did almost every boss in the game. The only ones I missed out were like optional and bad. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I feel like this is adequately completed. I feel content saying that I've done Dark Souls 2 now. Right, I am going to take a comfort break. We've been going for like 2 hours now.
Yeah, 2 1/4.
So I'm gonna go have a break, and I'll be back in like, should we say meet back in like 5-10 minutes?
10 sounds good. Everyone go
Cool.
grab a snack and drink if you need them. Take a bio break if you gotta. Make sure you stretch, and we will see you all back in 10.
Yes, see you in 10 minutes. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Welcome back.
Hey everyone. Dan and I were just playing about with poses.
I have new boots and a new piece of headgear. Because I finally decided to get off my lazy arse and start making some high rank armor.
Oh, you're done. Let's see what I can make. I can make the Rathian helm. I can make the Basarios armor. Defense boost. Tempting. Tempting. One of the things I really don't like about this game is how armor gets completely outclassed so quickly. Like, I'm currently wearing max upgrade Kezu armor on head, arms, and waist, which is like 50 defense. But then you go to Basarios and it's got 52 as
Without
base.
upgrades.
Without upgrade. And it's like, yeah, it's like, what was even the point of me? There we go.
But hey, on the bright side, you can color the stuff for
You
high
can.
rank.
I'm gonna actually upgrade these as much as I can. Oh, you're the Blue Ranger. You're the Blue Ranger. Sorry, you're the Turquoise Ranger. That is clearly the thing that you were upset about.
Yes, that's clearly the reason I did the Miss Piggy upset sound. Unintentionally, I might add. It wasn't meant to be Miss Piggy, but then I did it and I was like, shit, that was Miss Piggy.
Yeah, so what skills do I actually have on at the moment? Defense boost, blight resistant, speed sharpening, wide range, guard, load shell, stun resistant, botanist, item prolonger, free meal. Great. Yeah. Like, this is I don't know. It's better in this game than it was in previous games, but still, it's like, if you're building for defense, you have very limited options for skills, and vice versa.
Yeah. I was mainly building this set because I like the idea of a support HBG.
Like demon ammo and stuff.
Yeah. But also, like, just wide range.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I've now got... Let's check my defenses. Status? My defense is currently 338. If I go back to the stuff I was wearing before, which I think was this set? Yeah, if I go back to this set, we're now down to 270. So it's like just a huge difference, you know?
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Oh, actually.
Welcome back, Aftons. Aftons has tea. I'm sure you're very glad to know. I should have made some tea while I was away, but it's late and I probably shouldn't have caffeine, so. You're wearing kitty ears.
Yeah, and a kitty tail.
And a kitty tail. Little kidder. Catto. Right. What are we hunting? What are we hunting? Oop, that's a rampage quest. This is what I wanted. Oop. The options are Baroth, 2 Volvidons, or Pukey Pukey.
Might as well go Pukey Pukey. Why is it blacked out? What?
I think it always does that like the very start.
If it doesn't mark this as completed for me, like the last time we had a blacked out quest, I'm going to just do it on my own off stream.
That's fair. Blech. Blech.
You're...
You alright?
Hold on, I can't hear you right now. There we go.
Did your headphones die?
No, I had a thing set off the inside of my ear in such a way that I shook my head involuntarily, hard enough for my headset to fall off.
Ah. Afton says, I'd offer to make you a tea, but there's a bit of water in the way. Just throw it in Boston Harbor and I'm sure I'll get it.
Hey! That was a good one.
Thank you. Come for the bad jokes, stay for the history references.
Which are also bad jokes.
Which are usually often, not always.
Fair.
Also, sometimes I tell you cool bug facts.
Hashtag bug facts.
Hashtag bug fact. Right. Hunting. Pukey, 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 pukey.
I wish that Nikki. Wait, is it like true electricity?
That's what my note said.
Oh, then I'm going to change weapons.
Cool beans. Aftons would like a cool bug fact. Okay, here is a cool bug fact for you. Although people often use the word bug to mean any sort of insect or creepy crawly, strictly speaking, the term there's a group called the true bugs, which are I'm trying to remember. It's not Diptera. No, it might be. I think it's Hemiptera, which they have the front wings are like half hardened membrane and half soft membrane. And they also have like sucking mouth parts, unlike other things like beetles, which don't. So there's your cool bug fact. It's about bugs.
I should hope a bug fact is about bugs. I'm being a smartass. Just ignore me.
Planning on it.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean the term true bugs is like originally they were just called the bugs, but then people were like, all creepy crawlies are bugs, and then they're like, no, incorrect, because you know how biologists are. They're always wanting to classify things in such a way that there is no ambiguity.
Yep.
And who can blame them? Like when their entire job is about classifying things really precisely. It's understandable that they'd want to do it in a fashion where
Mop!
there's no risk of confusing one group of animals with another. So that you'll often find that there are groups of animals which are called true blank, because in common parlance, the word is used for lots of other things as well. Oopsie daisy. Where do you draw the line exactly? The more you can answer this question, the better. But, well, the thing is, I'm not a zoologist myself. I'm a historian. I mainly know lots of bug facts because I want to get into museums as a career, and the best way of doing that is volunteering. So most of my volunteering has been at a zoological museum, which has been fun. I've learned a lot while I've been there.
Yeah, Tony used to work at a museum.
Well, I still kind of do. It's not like a full-time thing. It's just like whenever I have time, I drop in for a couple of hours.
Right.
I'm heading in to help with some transcription.
Ooh.
Basically, there's a big old book, and it's got records of all the donations from the turn of the century. We got to look at old-timey handwriting and try and work out what it says, and then type it out on a computer.
Oh,
And it's one of the things where it's like people have really, really beautiful handwriting, really technically really neat handwriting, but I cannot read it.
Yeah. So, my mom actually does something kind of similar back in the Oklahoma State Capitol.
Oh yeah,
Yep. Yeah.
sounds fun.
Or at least that was what she was actively working on back when I lived down there. Was
Right.
actively getting all these old laws and such that were only extant on paper transcribed into computers.
Mm.
And
So part of my sorry, go on.
and like old meetings of state council and such. So, yep. I'm sorry to have interrupted you.
I mean, I was just going to say, like, I relied on something similar to that for my undergraduate dissertation. Because, I went to university in Aberdeen. Aberdeen has a really complete set of council registers, which date back to, like, the 15th century. And, yeah, I relied very heavily on those records when I was looking at coins. Nope, that was incorrect. Ugh, I love when you play Hunting Horn and you stack all of the buffs at the top of the screen. It's such a good feeling.
Yeah. Give me your tail. Now I feel like a weird inverted version of the Bay movie Optimus Prime. Give me your tail.
Oh yeah, because faces aren't severable. That's from like that's the reference, right? Give me your face.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't see that one. I saw the first two.
I think that was number 2.
Just well, I just don't remember that. Yeah, no, I saw the one that just called Transformers.
Right.
And I saw Revenge of the Fallen or Dark Side of the Moon.
Revenge of the
whichever
Fallen,
one
I
was.
think, was the second one.
Right.
Oh,
And then they like did an alternate universe version called like The Last Night, which I never
Oh,
saw.
it wasn't an
But, like,
alternate universe. It was alternate history,
Oh,
where, like, there had been a secret order of Autobots who had hidden on Earth and based themselves on dinosaurs.
the Dinobots,
Yeah.
like Grimlock.
Yeah, but, like,
I know about this.
actually alive during Dino times instead of being contemporary, like most depictions of Dinobots are.
Right. Okay.
And
So is this
And,
sort of
like-
like tying in to Beast Wars?
no, the upcoming movie that has been in development hell since 2020 is tied into Beast Wars.
Okay. Beast Wars is the one that I grew up with. Like, I remember watching Beast Wars. I was really confused because I started at the start of the trans metal
Ah, yeah,
time,
that
and like I didn't have any idea what went on in season 1. So
yeah, having watched the entire series on I think Netflix, I can understand being
Was it?
confused coming in there.
it's on Netflix.
I think it was. I don't know if it still is. It was a couple of years ago.
Well, I'll have to look into it. But yeah, it's maybe I'll go back and rewatch it, see if it holds up. It probably doesn't.
It's a lot of episodes hold up surprisingly well. One of the best received episodes that introduces one of my favorite characters super doesn't.
Is it Transmutate?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of able-bodied folks discussing whether or not this gal with is basically born with disabilities deserves a right to live or not.
Yep. Very eugenicsy.
Yeah.
I like the one where Dinobot saves the monkeys
Yeah,
by
the
like sacrificing
monkeys
himself.
that were implied to be Neanderthals.
Yeah. And when he breaks the golden disc, that's been like the MacGuffin for the entire series, and he just like
Yes.
says "screw you" to Megatron.
That's such a powerful scene. Ah, it's so good.
Mmm.
Ah, damn it.
Got it. Sorry.
It's fine.
There we go. Got the Punisher. Ugh.
I'm about to do something super stupid.
Yeah. Go on.
Get closer, you stupid!
Here it comes.
Ah!
No! Do you lose the charge?
No, I still have the wyvern ammo.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's not like the way gun lancers do it, where it overheats and you have to wait a while before trying again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just ammo that's meant to emulate the gun lance's wyvern fire.
Right. Get it now while it's eating.
I mean, I got
too late.
it before it ran that way.
Boink. Bonk.
Get Sam! Nope. Damn it!
It costs $400,000 to fire this gun for 12 seconds. Some people think they can outsmart me. Maybe. I have yet to meet one who can outsmart a bullet.
And now, because of the way my brain works, I'm now picturing Bullet is the name of his boyfriend.
What am I looking for? I'm looking for food. Steak. Yum, 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 yum. So it's something I realized the other day that I hadn't noticed, apparently. So the currency in this game is called zenny, right?
Yes.
Apparently, zenny is just like the Japanese word for money.
Oh no, that's yen.
No. Like, zenny. Like, apparently that is a word in Japan for, like, cash. I don't know if it's, like, a bit of a more casual thing than referring to their currency specifically.
It might be an older term, which would explain why I'm not super... which would explain why I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, I was on the JoJo wiki, because I was thinking about various Part 4 antagonists, and apparently the lock has one kana on it, which is kanji, which is zenny, which means cash, because you know how Araki loves to just write words on things.
Yeah. Usually clothing.
Yeah. But yeah, it sort of reminds me how in Kingdom Hearts, the money is just called money. But spelt in a cute way.
It's written like they tried to transliterate the Japanese pronunciation of it. Or, no, I guess technically not, because that would be with an A instead of a U.
M-A-N-I.
Or, actually, no, I guess not at all, because it would be with an A and an E instead of a U and an I.
You and I? Final melody chime. Kingdom Hearts has such 2000s energy. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
I never played through it at the time, but I'm still really nostalgic for the time when it came out. Because like I remember adverts for it and all that sort of thing.
A girl I had a crush on in middle school did... I forget if she did the Sora cosplay or the Riku cosplay, but another girl she was very close with did the one that she didn't. And those two girls were very close.
History will say they were good friends.
See, the thing is, I think that might actually be the case, because that's at least what they claimed. Because the other one was real into BL.
Right. Well, I've known a lot of lesbians in my time who are.
Well, no, she would... If memory serves, she claimed that the only gay things she was really into were BL.
Right. Well, that's fair. Yeah, but you sort of alluded to one of my favorite tropes when it comes to resolving love triangles, which is cutting the knot. Uh, as in, Sora and Riku are both competing for Kairi's affection. But what if they just like take Kairi out of the picture altogether and just date each other?
Yeah.
There's a lot of fanfiction about it.
I mean, the cutting the knot trope is quite good, especially in my personal opinion, when, oh, we're competing for this boy. We've realized he's an asshole, and hey, you're kind of hot.
An even better, well, no, an equally good one is when they just all be one big polycule together.
Yes.
It's just like, we don't need to compete. We all love each other.
I swear I've used almost exclusively slicing ammo on this thing. I still haven't cut its goddamn tail. I'm almost ouch.
But you can make some more, can't you?
If I remembered what made it and went to go grab the ingredients.
I mean, you can check that quickly while I just drive Pookie Pookie into a couple of times.
Mop.
Mop. Okay. So you say mop a lot. I've since started to watch the Owl House. I make a lot of king noises, just like wah kind of things.
Oh, samey noises.
They're not all the same. They're mostly samey, but
It was a joke at Sammy's expense because I love that girl.
I know. I've noticed that when we collab, a lot of the jokes and references that we make are for the benefit of only a very specific audience,
I mean, Sammy is one of my moderators. She's not super active in her capacity as a mod, but she does stop by and does get flustered into going wah.
Wah. Ugh. Oh no.
It's targeting you, my character says immediately before it starts aiming at me.
Alright, let's cover it up.
I'm upset that I used almost my entire stock of slicing ammo trying to cut its damn tail to the point where the finishing blow was delivered with cutting the slicing ammo, and its tail was attached the entire fight.
You need slash breeze for it.
Ah. I wonder if you can pick
And
those up
are
around
they-
here.
So there are 3 spots like up in the shrines. And actually, oh, hang on. There is a spot like over there.
That's all there is to it.
Can it be about that time?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, you want to call it here?
We should have unlocked the urgent quest though, so we could make. Do I want to do that? Do I want to do that before I go to bed? Trying to think.
I'm down with whatever you want to do.
Mizutsune Enshrine Ruins. Cool. Mizutsune. Okay. I don't know. I think I'm too tired to do something at 6 stars. 6 is a lot of stars. Like, I think there's only one tier higher than 6, right?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, the majority of event quests are all 7 stars. Yeah, there's like Crimson Glow Valstrax, or Apex Zenogre, or a Rathian, a Somnicanth, and a Raknakadaki? Is that what it's called? The one that I've not met.
A new Monstie.
Yeah. Monstie?
Sorry,
Monster.
yes,
Rajang's Holiday Special.
Sorry, what?
Rajang's Holiday Special. Hunt two Roggy and a Rajang. And you get some Christmas-themed stickers.
Ooh. Stickers.
I always think it's such a lame reward when they offer you guild card titles.
I kind of like guild card titles.
I mean, I like them, but like an Apex, Arzuros, Rathian, and Diablos, and you get some guild card titles.
Okay, that's a little silly.
Yeah. Like, some of them give you poses, some of them give you stickers, layered armor. Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of cool requests. Oh, you can get Mega Man. You can get Mega Man.
Yeah. Turn your Doge into Rush.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's the name of Mega Man's dog, is Rush.
His bird is called Beat.
Yeah. A lot of Mega Man terms are music puns, like with JoJo. But like,
Rock and
actually music terminology and not, like, proper bands. With the exception of Rush.
Yeah. I mean, you can't prove that that's a music reference.
Except...
You can't prove it. It is just an English word.
Yes.
Right, I think I'm actually just gonna go to bed. You can keep doing stuff if you want, but I'm gonna sign off.
I might as well sign off as well.
Alright. Let me check who else is streaming. Let's see if we can raid somebody.
Yes.
I just need to boot up. I'm gonna boot up Chrome to do this, because doing it on mobile is a nightmare.
Yes. Oh, I've only got one person watching me.
That's fine. You can take your friend to a new place. It doesn't matter how many you have.
Okay.
I'm sure that whoever we raid will be delighted that we bring all our friends.
My headset died. Yay.
Well, that means I get to say whatever I want about Diana while she's trying to recharge.
Well, at least it was timed well.
She'll never know that I'm gossiping about her behind her back. Okay.
There we go.
No, now I've got to stop my nasty rumors I was spreading about you behind your back.
Totally.
I was telling everybody rude things about you. I was telling everybody that you were secretly, I don't know. I can't even like pretend rumors to start.
Not as fat as you claim to be, which actually I'm actually a bit open about.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the thing. Is like you discuss your things openly, so it's like I can't even like spread rumors about you. Rumors that Diana is a cutie.
Heck you, Athens! I know it was you!
Okay. Who is streaming that we can raid? Bewitchment is streaming Cozy Grove. Let's go and visit B. Let's go and visit B.
Who's B?
She is a frog friend. She is. I will send you the. I'll send you the name on Discord. We can go and rate her. She is friend. She is frog and she is friend. I will send it to your work account.
Thank you, because that is a different spelling of B than I was expecting.
Yeah.
I was expecting.
Okay. Well, we're going to send you all over that. No. Like short for Beatrice. Okay. Thanks everybody for joining us. I've had fun. Have you had fun, Diana?
Absolutely.
Okay. Perfect. Then I will bid you all good evening. I'm going to go now. Tomorrow I'm heading to the musée. But yeah, I hope you all have a lovely evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. Ta-ta for now.
And I will see you all on Thursday for more Final Fantasy XIV New Game Plus. Until then, bon lecture.
Bon lecture.